Hey, welcome back to another Just 15 Minutes. My goodness, another one, you say. Okay, this one is for Mac users, in specifically, actually, older Mac users. If you're not interested in Macs, then save your time and go and watch something else on YouTube. There's billions of things on there. But if you do have a Mac, like I do, an older one, uh, I've got a Mac Mini, which is, I think, a late 2014. So it's one of the Intel uh, chipsets. It's got 8 gig of RAM, 256 gig of a hard drive. It's a small um, Mac, but it does what I need it to do, which is I run a couple of music digital audio workstations or DAWs, one called Ableton, which is obviously quite famous and popular, and the other not so famous actually, but it's called Reason. Um, and it just really runs quite well on there. So I don't really use it for a great deal of other things, which is really sad when I can't remember what the version it allowed me to update to, but a lot of stuff stops working. And I've got, there's another iMac, one of the 27-inch iMacs, which is an amazing machine. And by the way, these processors that are in them and things like that, they're still really powerful. But the iMac, for example, I think that's a 2013 one. It's a Core i7, 8 or 16 gig of RAM or whatever. It's still a really reasonable piece of hardware, yet you can't go any further than I think it was maybe Ventura OS, I forget. It was one of the 10 point something versions, I think. And that was it. So consequently, a lot of other software, like later software, won't install on those older versions of the Mac OS. So, and look, don't get me wrong, the new iMac M4 as mini M4 CPU has just come out, and it doesn't look that expensive, and it's probably something I'm going to upgrade to, when I get a little bit of extra cash. But anyway, like everyone, um, but there we go. Can you use your old Mac equipment and get it updated to the latest OS? Well, the answer is yes, using Open Core Legacy Patcher. Okay, so I came across this. There's a couple of YouTubers that noticed this. I'll try to find out who they were because that they really did help. And and by the way, even on the Mac Mini, I've got the late 2014. So if you've got anything after that, there's a really good chance that all of this will work. But even my version and the older one, which is 2013, it still works pretty well. All the Wi-Fi, the graphics card, the Bluetooth, everything seems to work really well. So, and they do go back even further. So let's jump in. Let's have a look at the getting started. Now, I'm on a Windows machine, ironically, at the moment. So, because where I do my recording, but I have just done this on my Mac Mini, and I've upgraded it, and I've got there we go. Yeah, I have got Sequoia, which is the very latest version, as of the time in this recording, anyway, of the Mac OS. Okay, so you can pick back a few of the other ones. I think Monterey was possibly one that I managed to get up to, but that was the official, like, can't go any further. But anyway, the idea is you need. I tried a 16 gig USB drive. I don't think it was quite enough. Okay, so even though the download images say that they're just a little bit less than that, I think it needs an extra bit for the boot files and all that sort of stuff. So be aware of that. Ideally, try to get at least a 32 gig USB drive. And by the way, I tried an SD card, it doesn't work. Um, so it has to be, even though it is technically a removable drive, it sadly doesn't do the trick. But a USB drive does, and I mean these days, even a 32 gig USB drive is probably not really that much to buy. So as long as you've got something like the 32 gig or above, and then all you need to do is when you're on your Mac is go have a look through this. Now there are some. I should go back through the supported models first, actually. So if you ever look, okay, there's all the different um, sort of categories there. You've got all the MacBooks now. I think the older one or the oldest one I've got actually it might be the MacBook Pro. Okay, there was an older MacBook Pro that was, I think I think it was round about early 2013. So there we go. That one. Yeah, the Retina one. That was it. So that's probably the oldest one that I've got. And that certainly doesn't update or anything. But as you can see, it is got support there. Okay. And if you look down, like I said, I've got the Mac Mini and I've got the late 2014, so that's supported. And there's a link there. And finally, the iMac, which is a 27-inch, and I think it was somewhere around about here, around about there. One of these ones again. I think it was the late 2013 one, and that's supported as well. Okay, so have a check, make sure you've got a supported model, okay, and then creating the Mac OS installer. It's a really nice interface when you do that. There's not really a lot of technicalities. You just need a USB disk, 32 gig or more, in my opinion, and then yeah, you can go to this link here. Okay, open legacy patch there. And if you scroll down, there's a bit of information, but ultimately the one that you want to download if you're not overly technical is this one here. Okay, the fourth one down. And that one there, you just click. I can't load it here because I'm on a Windows machine, but it's a package file. It will come up and ask you, do you allow this? Yes. Install it, and essentially you're then back to. There are some screenshots here, so this will be great. The idea is you get when you run that application. Okay, you can't quite see it there. If we zoom in, there we go. Create macOS installer. That's the only one that you need. There's a few other things that you can do, but again, just if you're a standard sort of macOS user, go into this one here. Okay, and when you do that, okay, it will go into the next screen, which is download. Okay, now I had a couple of problems only to do with my internet. So if you have downloaded an OS previously, or even one or two of the different ones like Ventura and Sequoia and things like that, you can pick existing ones. But if you're completely new to this, just download a Mac OS and it will allow you to pick like from the list. Now, at the moment, the screenshots they've got, it says Mac OS Sequoia Beta, but since that was updated, no doubt, that is now a full version of the very latest Mac OS Sequoia. Okay, so I ended up picking I think Sonoma purely because I only had a 16 gig drive, and this one didn't quite fit. That one did. And I'm guessing once I've upgraded to Sonoma, because obviously right now um, my Mac Mini only went up to OS Monterey, and it wouldn't go officially. It wouldn't upgrade anymore. So once I'm on Sonoma, it does mention that it then allows over the air, which meaning via the internet, it will do upgrades. So from Sonoma, I'll be able to upgrade to Sequoia anyway. Okay. So once you do that, it's going to go through down the bottom here. You'll see there's, you know, it'll ask you which one you want to choose. And obviously, if you've only got the one Mac OS there, that'll be fine. And then it says, obviously, you put the USB drive in again. pretty sure you want to use something like the 32 gig USB, and it will go through and it will format everything. That's the other thing, of course. But then it will take a little while, maybe 30 minutes to do that. Okay, but basically it will then allow you to use that disk as if you go through the rest of the instructions, it will indeed boot up with that new OS. Okay, so it's pretty cool actually to get like as I say, the modern OS on your older sort of Mac or Intel Mac machines. So that's what I've got this time around. Like and subscribe if you wish, and thank you for watching along if you've followed this, and we will catch you in the next one.